Check this out. Did you know there's a club in football so exclusive that only 5 players ever have joined it? We're talking about a feat so rare even legends like Cristiano or Zlatan never managed it. Imagine playing in all 5 of Europe's top leagues: England, Spain, Italy, Germany and France in one career. Sounds almost impossible, right? Well, 5 guys did it, and one of them is a mystery Danish player that hardly anyone remembers. By the end of this video, you'll not only know his name, but also why his career deserves way more love. Before we dive into each player's crazy journey, let's quickly set the stage. What exactly are Europe's top 5 leagues, and why is playing in all of them such a big deal? When we say top 5 leagues, we mean the 5 biggest domestic competitions in European football. They are, in no particular order: Premier League, fast, physical, and insanely popular worldwide. Every match feels like a cup final. La Liga, skillful and tactical, home of tiki-taka football and giants like Real Madrid and Barcelona. Serie A, defense meets drama, historically tactical and methodical, with passionate fans in the stands. Bundesliga, high-octane and youthful, known for attacking play and incredible fan atmospheres. Ligue, a mix of powerhouse clubs and talent factories with a fast and athletic style. Winning one of those leagues is a career highlight for most. Playing in multiple is pretty uncommon, but playing in all 5, that's the stuff of football legend. Different language in each country, different cultures, different playing styles. It's like hitting the grand tour of European football. Think about it. You'd have to adapt from a rainy night in Stoke to a sunny evening at the Bernabeu, then handle the tactical rigors in Milan, the intense crowds of Dortmund's Yellow Wall, and maybe a cold, windy game in northern France. Few players even attempt such a varied career path. In fact, only 5 in history have done this, and we're about to meet them. Each took a totally different path to cover all 5 countries. Alright, let's kick off our list of globetrotting footballers. First up, a young Dutch forward who grew up in the shadow of a famous father, but is busy forging his own unique legacy. Justin Kluivert might be the youngest member of this exclusive club, but his passport is already running out of pages. By the age of 24, this Dutch winger had played for clubs in all 5 leagues, a whirlwind journey that even his legendary dad Patrick Kluivert never experienced. Justin burst onto the scene at Ajax. As the son of Patrick, expectations were sky high, and to his credit, he showed flashes of brilliance, quick dribbles, goals, and that fearless Dutch flair. It wasn't long before Europe's top leagues came calling. In 2018, at just 19 years old, Kluivert took a bold leap to AS Roma for a hefty 18.75 million euros. He had some bright moments in Rome, but consistency was hard to find. Rather than stick around as a bench warmer, Justin started country hopping via loan moves. Next up, Germany. A loan to RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga gave Kluivert a taste of German football. He snagged a few goals and assists in 2020, adapting to Leipzig's high-press, fast-paced style. Different language, different style, no problem. The kid was checking leagues off his list. By 2021, it was off to the French Riviera, on loan at OGC Nice. New league, same mission, get minutes, make an impact. And he did that fairly well in Ligue 1, showing off his speed on the wings and adding Ligue 1 to his resume. Why stop there? In 2022, Justin moved again, this time to La Liga's Valencia on yet another loan. He managed to score in Spain too, inching closer to that all-league bingo card. 4 down, 1 to go. Finally, in 2023, Kluivert made the jump to England, signing with Bournemouth in the Premier League. And in his very first months, he found the net in a game against Sheffield United. With that, he officially became one of only 2 players in this century to score in each of Europe's top 5 leagues. And if you stick around, I might just tell you who the other guy is. Justin's journey has been crazy fast. 7 clubs across 5 countries by 24. It feels like he hit the career fast forward button. And hey, he's got 2 records his famous dad never will. So, that's 1 down. Now from a 20-something rising star, let's switch gears to a 30-something veteran who's quietly done it all. Meet a Montenegrin striker who's been everywhere and scored everywhere too. Stevan Jovetic's career is a bit like a roller coaster tour through Europe. One moment he's a teen prodigy in Serbia, next he's banging in goals in Italy, then lifting a Premier League trophy in England before hopping to Spain, France and Germany. Let's break down how Jovetić checked off all 5 leagues on his journey. Jovetić made a name for himself as a 17-year-old at FK Partizan Belgrade. If you saw him back then, you could tell he was special. Silky touch, intelligent movement, big clubs noticed fast. At 19, Stevan took the leap to Fiorentina in Italy. And boy did he impress. Over 5 seasons in Florence, Jovetić scored 40 goals in 134 matches, becoming a fan favorite. His Serie A exploits earned him a €26 million move to Manchester City in 2013. In England, Jovetić had highs and lows. High, winning the Premier League and League Cup in his first season. Low, injuries and fierce competition. Imagine fighting with Sergio Aguero for a spot. That limited his game time. He still managed some brilliant goals for City, but by 2015 he was getting itchy feet. City sent him on loan to Inter Milan in 2015. It was a bit of a homecoming to Italy, though this time with Inter's famous black and blue jersey. He had a decent stint, scoring 7 goals in his first half season. Inter made the move permanent, but things didn't quite click long term. In 2017, Jovetić found himself on loan again, this time at Sevilla in Spain. He only spent half a season in La Liga, but yes, that counts. Next, Stevan moved to AS Monaco in France's Ligue 1. By now, he was a well-traveled veteran still looking for that stable home. Injuries struck again, but he did score some goals for Monaco over a 4-year stay. More importantly for our story, this completed his collection of league appearances. With Monaco, Jovetić ticked off France, leaving just one big league missing, which he got by signing for Hertha BSC in 2021. Finally, Germany. Even in his 30s, Jovetić wasn't done exploring. With Hertha, Stevan officially achieved the feat of appearing in all top 5 leagues. Now, to put a cherry on top, remember Kluivert being one of only 2 players scoring in all top 5 leagues this century? Jovetić is the second one. Think about the adaptability and longevity you need for that. Not many players keep finding the net as they switch countries so often. Alright, next on our list is a player many more of you will know. A superstar striker known for his lightning pace, front flip goal celebrations and a wardrobe of exotic cars. Yep, it's time to talk about Auba. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is a name that echoes in modern football. From the Bundesliga top scorer to an FA Cup hero in England, and even half a season cameo at Barcelona. Aubameyang's career had big highs, a few lows, and a lot of miles traveled. He's also, perhaps surprisingly, one of the 5 players to appear in all top 5 leagues, although his path is a bit unique. Let's unpack it. Aubameyang was actually forged in Italy. As a teenager, he signed for AC Milan's youth setup. So Italy is technically where he started, though here's the kicker. He never actually played a league game for Milan's first team. He was on the books from 2008 to 2011, but spent most of that time on loan. Still, being part of Milan meant he was in the Italian football system. He even made the bench a few times. We'll give him a pass for including Serie A on his list, even if it is kind of by proxy. Those loans from Milan sent young Auba all over France. He had stints at Dijon, Lille and Monaco, but the real breakthrough came when he joined Saint-Etienne in 2011. In Saint-Etienne, Aubameyang blossomed into a lethal forward, scoring heaps of goals and even winning a domestic cup. By 2013, he was one of the hottest prospects in France, and a new adventure beckoned. Aubameyang moved to Borussia Dortmund in 2013, and this is where he truly became a world-class striker. In Germany, wearing the famous yellow and black, he terrorized defenses with his blistering pace. He scored 98 Bundesliga goals in 144 games, won the German Cup in 2017, and took home the Bundesliga Golden Boot in 2016-17. By the time he left, he was a bona fide star. In 2018, Aubameyang made a big money move to Arsenal in the Premier League. He He hit the ground running, scoring on his debut and quickly becoming Arsenal's main man up front. In 2019, he won the Premier League Golden Boot, and in 2020, he almost single-handedly carried Arsenal to an FA Cup victory. He even became club captain. England loved Auba's goals until things went a bit sour. By late 2021, disciplinary issues caused a rift. In fact, Arsenal stripped him of his captaincy for a disciplinary breach and dropped him from the squad. It was a messy end, and in early 2022, Aubameyang left Arsenal by mutual agreement. But don't feel too bad, he had another top league waiting for him. Right after Arsenal, Auba hopped over to Spain, joining FC Barcelona in January 2022, and he thrived initially, scoring 13 goals in half a season. However, his Barcelona chapter was short. By the end of 2022, Barcelona's revolving door of forwards saw him move on as Robert Lewandowski arrived. Aubameyang briefly returned to the Premier League with Chelsea in late 2022, but that didn't work out. He struggled for game time and goals in a turbulent Chelsea season. So, by playing in Italy, France, Germany, England and Spain, Aubameyang has technically done the 5-league sweep. He's also the only player ever to score hat-tricks in 4 of those 5 leagues. With Aubameyang in the back, we've covered 3 of our 5 Globetrotters. Our next story takes us back to the 90s, to the first player who ever achieved this 5-league Grand Slam. This one's for the football history buffs. Let's talk about Florin Răducioiu, the Romanian trailblazer who did it before it was cool. Florin Răducioiu might not be a household name today, but rewind a few decades and you'll find a Romanian striker who quietly notched a place in football history. In fact, Florin was the very first player to ever play in all 5 of Europe's top leagues. And he did it back in an era when moving abroad was a much bigger deal. No Instagram announcements or private jets on transfer deadline day. His journey is a fascinating hop through early 90s European football. Let's retrace it. Răducioiu started at Dinamo Bucharest in the late 1980s, and by 1990, as a 20-year-old, he'd earned a move to Italian football. Romania in the 90s had a golden generation with people like Jovetić, and Florin was part of that wave, even scoring 4 goals at the World Cup in '94. He had serious talent. Italy was the place to be in the early 90s, and Răducioiu ended up playing for no fewer than 4 Italian clubs. He first joined Bari in 1990, then had spells at Hellas Verona and Brescia, steadily making a name for himself. His big Italian highlight? A transfer to AC Milan in 1993. Now, AC Milan in the 90s was a dream team. We're talking Maldini, Baresi, Van Basten. Florin found playing time hard to come by at Milan, but he did pick up a Serie A title and even a Champions League winner's medal in 1994, even if as a squad player. Not many can say that. After Milan, Răducioiu moved to Spain, joining Espanyol in 1994. He spent about 2 years in Barcelona, the city, not the big club, and performed decently. 19 goals in 56 games. By now, he had Italy and Spain checked off, and he was only in his mid-20s. Then came the colorful part of Florin's tale. In 1996, he signed for West Ham in the English Premier League. West Ham fans were excited. He was fresh off scoring Romania's only goal at Euros in 1996, and expectations were high. Unfortunately, the move was a disaster in his own words. He scored only 2 league goals for the Hammers before leaving by January 1997. West Ham fans sadly remember him as a flop. After the West Ham saga, Florin returned to Espanyol briefly, then went on loan to Stuttgart in 1997. That short stint in Germany added the Bundesliga to his portfolio. He didn't stay long, but by playing for Stuttgart, he quietly nudged league number 4. And now for the final piece, France. In 1998, Răducioiu went back to his old club Brescia in Italy for a while, then back to Dinamo Bucharest at home. But his last big move was in 2001 to Monaco in France's Ligue 1. By joining Monaco in 2001, Florin completed the circuit of all 5 leagues. He even scored a couple of goals for Monaco to ensure that he had found the net in each country. With that, he became the first footballer ever to play in England, Spain, Italy, Germany and France. truly a pioneer of the journeyman achievement. He's sometimes brought up in trivia quizzes for his unique record, but otherwise Răducioiu keeps a pretty low profile today. Now we've met 4 of the 5 members of this exclusive club. Time to address the elephant in the room, or rather the Dane in the room. Who is this mysterious Danish player who also achieved this 5-league sweep? His story is perhaps the most under the radar of all 5. Let's finally reveal the last member of our group. Last but not least, we have our Danish player. I've kept his name a secret until now. Here's what I'll reveal. He was a tough, tackling, defensive midfielder. He quietly played in Germany, Spain, Italy, England, and France during the 2000s and early 2010s. Unlike the others on our list, he wasn't a flashy goal scorer or a big-name superstar. Instead, he was the kind of player every coach loves. Hard-working, gritty, and sometimes downright nasty on the field. Just ask Francesco Totti, who once lost his cool with this guy. Let's trace his journey first and see if you can connect the dots. He started off in Denmark's domestic league as a teenager, making a name at FC Copenhagen around 2000. Then he moved to the Bundesliga, joining Schalke 04 in 2002. In Germany, he built a reputation as a combative midfielder over 4 seasons. Next, he headed to La Liga in Spain, signing with Sevilla. There, he hit his prime. He even won a UEFA Cup with Sevilla, contributing as a midfield enforcer. After Spain, Italy came calling. He joined the legendary Juventus in Serie A. His Italian adventures lasted 2 seasons, and then he made a move to England, landing in Liverpool in 2010, where he was dubbed as one of their worst signings ever. Needless to say, Liverpool didn't work out great. 11 appearances, and after a year, he left Anfield. Finally, he went to Ligue 1 in France, signing with a newly promoted club called Evian in 2011. That right there completed his Big 5 journey. Germany, Spain, Italy, England, France. He was now part of the all 5 leagues club, something he achieved by age 31. If you haven't guessed it yet, it's time to lift the veil. Our mysterious Dane is Christian Poulsen. Surprised? You're not alone. Poulsen isn't a flashy name, but die-hard fans will remember him as a solid defensive midfielder who quietly played for some of Europe's biggest clubs. Now, Christian Poulsen's career is particularly interesting because he might be the most underappreciated of this elite group. Let's talk quirks and controversies, because he had a few. Poulsen had a knack for getting under opponents' skin. In Euro 2004, he famously irritated Italian superstar Francesco Totti so much that Totti spat in his face. Yes, you heard that right. Poulsen's pesky marking led Totti to lose his temper completely. Totti got a hefty ban, and Poulsen got a reputation as that Danish guy Totti spat on. Not exactly the way you want to become known. Then there was the 2007 incident in a Denmark vs Sweden Euro qualifier. Poulsen punched the Swedish player in the stomach off the ball, earning himself a red card, and the match got abandoned. UEFA later awarded Sweden a 3-0 victory by forfeit and banned Poulsen for a few games. But beyond those flare-ups, Poulsen was by all accounts a consummate professional at his clubs. He won trophies, a UEFA Cup and Copa del Rey with Sevilla, for example. He was named Danish Player of the Year twice. After completing the 5-league circuit with Evian in France, Poulsen even added a 6th country. He went to Ajax in the Netherlands for a couple of seasons and eventually returned home to Denmark to finish his career at FC Copenhagen. Talk about full circle. He ended up where he started after literally playing all over Europe. So, why do I say Poulsen's career is underappreciated? Well, when people talk about great Danish players or great midfielders of the 2000s, his name rarely comes up. He wasn't a glamorous player, no highlight reel goals or fancy tricks, and often he was cast as a villain. Yet, consider what he achieved. Played for top clubs in every major league. Something so rare only a handful have done it. He adapted to the German style, then the Spanish style, then Italian, then English, which are all very different football cultures, and held his own. That adaptability is remarkable. And there we have it. 5 players, 5 leagues, 5 incredible journeys. Each of them took a unique path, but all roads led to the same rare milestone. Next time you think of football journeyman, remember, it's not a derogatory term. It can be a badge of honor. These 5 players prove that succeeding in multiple countries is its own kind of greatness. You need talent, but you also need courage to step out of your comfort zone again and again. These careers shows that football glory isn't only about Ballon d'Ors or scoring 50 goals a season. Sometimes it's about carving out a unique legacy that no one else can claim. So, who impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this little trip around Europe, give it a thumbs up and a subscribe for more football stories. Until next time, keep exploring and enjoy the beautiful game.